Hi everyone, we're going to show you how to do cyanotype, which is one of the oldest versions of alternative printing. So we're going to show you the ingredients and the stuff that we're going to use. So first of all, we've got the cyanotype chemical. Now this one is made by Jacquard and it comes in two parts which you mix. This one comes already mixed and it's from Photospeed, very simple to use. You need something to spread the chemicals onto the paper. We have a really good quality brush or a glass tube. You can use something a bit smaller, something like this, but you need to get it quite smooth onto the paper. We also use watercolour paper. This is a small pad, Bocking Food, very small sheets, or you can get these ones off the internet, 50 sheets, 300 grams. You need something to develop the print on. This is a glass from an old picture frame which we've taken apart and just hinged the sides with some gaffer tape. You use those. Some gloves, keep your hands from getting blue. Bulldog clips. Now we've got citric acid. You don't actually have to use this, but it's good. And quite some unusual bits, some cheap old washing up liquid, and some, you can use diluted cider vinegar, but you can use lots of other things once we get onto that. Somewhere to store your paper once it's been coated and dried. We've got an old darkroom box, but an old box for your printer paper, you can use that. And basically that's that. You need some plant material, and we're just going to have a simple one just to show you. And over here we have, and that's just here, quick way to do it, hair dryer, but if not you can just put the paper in the box and leave it to dry. It doesn't take that long. So that's basically all we need. So now we're going to show you how to coat the paper. Now you can get these syringes fairly cheap on the internet, and you'll just be able to suck it straight out of the bottle, and then you lay it across the paper, just drag it across, make sure there's no bubbles. I'm going to use the glass spreader this time, just drag it down, hopefully there's enough on there, a bit more this time. Drag up, across, down, across. Try and get a nice even coating, you'll see it on the paper. That's one. Now I'll show you how to do it with the brush.
In the dark.
Across. Make sure you get a good coating. Okay, you can wash that later. Empty out the excess. Lid back on. Okay, now we can dry the paper. Make sure it's on. So now we can put it in the box. Keep it. Now the light we're using is just a spotlight. As long as you're not doing it in any of the sunlight, it should be okay. Right, now we're going to do a dry cyanotype. Get our paper and our glass sheet. Place that on there. Now I've got some acer leaves here that make quite a nice little pattern there. Get them to lay down nicely. A couple of bulldog clips. Okay, now we can either take these out into the sun for about 15-20 minutes, or, as we are very lucky here, that I've got a UV box. So I'm going to put it in the UV box for about 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll see how that one comes out. Okay, so we've got the glass there, and we put it in the UV box, shut it up, and then we can switch it on. And once it's on, we check the time. Okay, so about 10 to 12 minutes when you're ready. Okay, now timing's up, it's about 12 minutes, so we'll stop the UV box and get our glass out. You can see that it's actually changed colour. So unclip this. Now, let's get some quite interesting thing. Now, this is water, so we're just going to give this a quick sluice through the water, and you'll just see the yellow will gradually disappear. Once that's done, and then between this this is citric acid. It's diluted as 1 litre of water with 3 tablespoons of citric acid. That just increases the density of the blue. Then afterwards we'll put it back in the water, and then we'll take it back to the kitchen and wash it 2 or 3 minutes in the kitchen, in the sink. It looks like all the yellow's gone now. It's okay now, so we're going to put it into the citric acid and agitate all the time. Again, doesn't need too long. As the cyanotype dries, it will get darker and darker, and you never know quite what you're going to get. The people that are really into this actually do so many different types of chemicals. They use lots and lots of different stuff. Experiment. You can dye this, make it a cold tea and cold coffee, just to change the colour slightly. It's an experiment. It's quite exciting, really, to see what you're going to get. About a minute more. Okay, that should be enough. Right, so we're going to put it back in the water, and I'll take this back down to the kitchen and we'll wash it there for a couple of minutes. Okay, so it's been washed in the kitchen now. Now you can either dry it with a hairdryer, or if you want to, just hang it out in the sun to dry, and we'll come and have a look at it later. Okay, now we're going to do a wet cyanotype. Put the paper on here. Now we put some cling film on the wooden base because it does get wet and it does tend to spoil it. It's polymmonium plant. Very attractive. You can just put that on here. Now, what we're going to do, we've got a little bit of water there, just going to give that a quick squirt with some washing up liquid. What we're trying to do is get really a load of bubbles. and then we can just get the bubbles, just put them anywhere you want, spread them out a bit, very artistic effect. Okay, diluted cider vinegar, just a quick squirt, the paper back, bubbles go everywhere, clips on. Now this time we're going to take it in the sun. We're not going to use the UV box, and we'll put it out there for about 15 minutes and we'll see what difference the sun makes rather than the UV, and we'll see you later. Okay, so here's the wet cyanotype in the sun. This is the one that's dried now. You can see quite a lot of difference in the colour. This will darken down over 24 hours and get even bluer. So here we are, we leave this for 15 minutes or so and we'll come back and see how that one's done. Okay, so now time's up in the garden. So get this one. Now normally we would take this indoors and wash it for at least 3 or 4 minutes in running water, but because we haven't got any running water up here, we'll just do it in the tank and then we'll put it in there. So and we just want to see whether or not the yellow, which is staining it slightly, we want to make sure that goes. So just for this we're going to shorten the sequence. As I said, normally we'd wash it for at least 2 or 3 minutes in running water. But, we'll get this done. So now we put it in the citric acid and agitate that. Again, normally it would be a couple of minutes. So, okay, so after we take it out here, put it back in the water, we'll take it back into the kitchen and give it a final wash, and then we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so the paper's now dry, and this one's had a little bit of time. You can see it's got so much darker, and this one with the textures and stuff will darken down overnight. May look like that one, but we'll wait and see. Anyway, we'll upload these, scan them and upload them so you can see them better.